Hey, thanks for checking out the video. If you all like it, please like and subscribe, and hope you all enjoy it. Have a great rest of the day.
So I'm screaming no matter what. Good news is I don't like to hear the sound of my own voice, so hopefully this will be a fairly brief explanation. But basically, you heard them talking about, well, their ranges are 100 yards, they're firing a couple ounces of gunpowder. Bah, I say, because we've got an artillery piece. We're going to lob a 10-pound shell up to a couple miles away down range, very accurately. We represent the epicenter of technology that these guys with the muskets could never hope to achieve. Unfortunately, sometimes they get really close to us and want to kill us, but in a perfect world, we're taking them out from a mile away, and that's the beauty of artillery. Our artillery crewmen are highly trained, technical, skilled folks, picked based on their intelligence. Yeah. Obviously, we have to work as a team when loading and firing one of these pieces. In a perfect world, a Civil War era gun crew had about 8 members to it. Now, of course, due to casualties in battle, disease, things of that nature, sometimes they had to work in reduced numbers, and that's what we are representing here today. Basically, the minimum number of men required to fire. Everybody has a very specific job to service this weapon, but they all must know each other's jobs just in case, unfortunately, somebody gets hit, or in my case, runs away. So at any rate, the other thing to keep in mind is as we go through the drill, we are using the correct 19th century cannon loading and firing drill. And why is that? Because back then, these guys didn't want to blow themselves up any more than we want to today. So at that time, they had reached, again, the highest pinnacle level of safety in how they did their things. Every movement they did was based on keeping their bodies in a safe zone away from these guns. And they drilled constantly on how to do that. So what we're going to do is, first time we're going to go through what they call a load by detail. So you can see the different movements of each one of these men and how they are trained. So we won't really be firing it the first time. The second shot, we'll do a second and a third shot, however, where we will actually be firing a blank. And before we fire a really, a real live blank, I'll wave my hands around in the air so you can stick your fingers in your ear. Now we can talk until you are blue in the face and screaming for mercy about all the technical details of what goes into a rifled artillery piece like this, how the rounds are made, but I don't want to torture you too much. So the good news is that when we're done talking, obviously we've got 5 folks here that you can engage on a one-on-one level. We'll be happy to tell you about all little details of what we're doing, but for now, let's just kind of go through the basic drill. Cannoneers, attention! Load by detail. Case shot, 1,200 yards. Load. 1, 2. First thing he's doing is making sure there's no leftover remnants from the previous shot. The next man, he's about to go to number 3, 4. Sponge. He is putting a slightly damp cloth sponge down the barrel to make sure he's extinguishing any burning embers from the previous shot. You notice the man on the left has his thumb over the touch hole. That way there's no air going into the tube as the man pushes the sponge down. If you had air in the tube and his thumb wasn't on the vent, it almost act like a bellows in a fireplace, making the embers, any remaining embers, extra hot. Where hopefully that's not happening now. Sponge. 2, 3. He has now put down, the number 2 guy has put down one of these cartridges that has 1 pound of gunpowder in it. 4. Ram. Notice how he moves his body out of the way of the muzzle when he rams it down in one quick fluid motion, putting this powder charge back down. 2. Removes the ramrod. The second position now is for him to put the actual projectile in. So it's a 2-motion progress. Ram! Again, his body's out of the way. 2, 3, The man who was on the vent is now coming back around to help me aim the gun. My job is to use this piece of equipment called a pendulum hawse. I'm going to put it over here because, again, this is a hyper-accurate weapon. I'm looking at the target. I am raising or depressing the barrel based on our range to the target, because we all know from math class, right, that round, based on the angle here, is going to fly a very specific level or distance. If I need to aim the gun to the left or to the right, that's what his job is here. So if I tap this side of the trail, he moves the gun one direction. Okay. The gun is now aimed. I signal that by raising my hands in the air. Next I say, ready! Notice the 1 and 2 guys are getting the heck out of the way of the muzzle. But they are also keeping their eyes focused on the front of the muzzle, because when you have a battery of 6 guns or larger numbers of guns all going off, you think it would be really easy to hear your own gun. But guess what? It gets lost in all the other explosions. So they are being extra safe by looking at the muzzle. I now know that they have put a priming wire here where that gunpowder charge is, and now cleared out of the way of the recoil of the gun. Notice nobody is anywhere near the wheels, because this thing could recoil 10, 15 feet depending on the ground. The number 4 man looks at me. We make eye contact. I know that he is ready to fire. I raise my hand because, again, he may not be able to hear me from all the other sounds going on. Fire. He pulls that. Friction primer goes off. There's an earth-shattering kaboom, and we destroy our target because we're highly trained. We knew exactly how far away it was. And again, that is the basic movements that they're using to load and fire the gun and drill with. Now we're going to do it, I guess what we would say more in real time. We'll do it more what would be battle speed, but we're not going to load a live cartridge yet, okay? We just want to show the idea of battle speed. Okay, ready? Cannoneers. Case shot, 1,300 yards. Load! Now they're going through their motions as they've been trained to do. He's retrieving a round from the limber right now, putting it in his leather haversack, and he will bring it to me so I can inspect the round. I make sure it's what I called for. He passes up to the front of the gun. While all this is going on, of course, I'm watching around for safety and other troop movements on the field. How is my target changing potentially? Again, I adjust my aim, my angle, give the visual signal. These 2 men come in, ready! He is now pricked that bag with his priming wire. We make eye contact, I double check. Fire! Another earth-shattering kaboom. All right, so at this stage in the game, we are going to load a blank round. It's going to be fairly loud. Just wait for all the car alarms to go off. That's how you'll know the gun fired.
If you have small children or pets, you may want to keep them close to cover your ears. It's going to be loud.
Hopefully.
It will be, I got faith.
Hold on to your dogs.
Cannoneers, attention. Case shot, 1,200 yards, load. You can even tell how well drilled all these men are because they know what I'm saying, even though my accent is incorrect for a Southern cannon crew.
We all can't be perfect.
Turn off your hearing aids. Leave your mouth open too.
Ready! Fire! Best news of all, we don't even have to replace that plank on the upper level of the fence.
Good job.
Cannoneers! Case shot, 900 yards, load! You saw the smoke coming off of that vent hole. You'll notice his thumb is on there again, creating that seal. The sponge is wet. We're doing everything we can to ensure safety, because again, don't want to blow ourselves up. Right now we're making sure that everything is clear from the bore. They'll be basically swabbing out the tube again, make sure there's no embers in there, and then the piece will be secure. When you see them walk away from the gun, that means you can feel free to come forward and inspect anything you want, talk about everything we have here, because if you don't, we can't justify to our wives having bought all this crap in the first place. It'll make us feel good. Well, thank you very much for your time today.
Ladies and gentlemen, the second final